this community, it's access to such beautiful nature. It's quiet, there's a lot of space. We have a lot of surfers, a lot of people who enjoy time in the forest. And I think that leaves space for your imagination and creativity.
My hopes for Surfside Studio Tour would be that it becomes something that people really look forward to coming to every year. It's growing and there's always new artists every year.
I do believe that the artists here are undiscovered, and I think that the exposure actually helps their confidence too, because it takes a lot to get your work out there, and the tour actually sort of removes those barriers.
Hello, I'm Tom Murphy. Welcome to Land and Sea. On Nova Scotia's eastern shore, artists draw inspiration from the captivating landscape that surrounds them, creating art that mirrors its beauty. Well, now an artist-founded studio tour invites you to experience the shore through the artist's eyes and through their art.
Hi there, thank you for coming. This is Surfside Studio Tour, and this is a map for you to use along your route. And today we have 23 artists showing in 14 stops.
Photographer Amanda Cashin is one of the organizers of the Surfside Studio Tour. It's a role she took on back in 2018. That's the year the tour started.
Surfside Studio Tour is a free, self-guided art studio tour. And how it works is we have artists that will open up their homes and their studios for one day. We create a map to help guide visitors, and they will stop along and visit each artist or maker. And they have an opportunity to purchase art from those people, but to more so connect with the artists and get a chance to see how they are inspired, what they create and how they create it, and the amount of work and effort and heart that goes into each thing that they make. Nature inspires all of our artists in some way. A lot of the art is inspired by waves and surfing and in nature in general. All along the coast, it's an inspiring place. It's rural and quaint. This year, we opened the tour to the Highway 207, which encompasses West Lawrencetown, Lawrencetown, East Lawrencetown, Three Phantom Harbor, Seaforth, Grand Desert, and West Chesapeake.
Amanda doesn't photograph people or landscapes. Rather, she focuses her camera's lenses on lines and textures.
I'm inspired by patterns and shadows and just designs and colors and the changes that nature makes on the environment. So every time the tide goes out and comes back in, there's a new design in the sand that I find inspiring. After a bad storm, there's a little more wear on that little sea shack that I want to capture.
The Surfside Studio Tour has something for everyone. The tour features illustrators, sculptors, jewelry makers, potters, painters, and fabric artists. The organizers start preparing for the tour 5 months in advance.
It's the first craft show before craft show season starts, because once it starts, there's, basically the end of October all the way through December, there's a bunch of well-established shows that happen throughout the city.
It started when David Amos and David Amos is my co-director, and I connected with him through him helping me with a project related to my photography before. We were just chatting about the opportunity to showcase all of the talent that existed in this community. A similar event had happened before, and we sort of ran off of that idea a little bit and just simplified the process and the tour itself.
Well, there you go. Enjoy your purchases, and really nice to meet you, and thank you for coming out again.
The attention to detail in coordinating the event is invaluable for first-time tour artist Nadia Power.
The organizers for this event have been amazing to me. They've been really helpful. They've been very good with communication. They have guided me through what I need to do. Amanda came over. We had a really nice long conversation. She told me about the event. She told me what to expect. She looked at my studio, made sure everything was great. The signage was good. Like, she was really helpful. So I have nothing but good things to say about the organizers. Yeah, for sure.
This year, there are 23 artists and 14 studio stops. The Surfside Studio Tour is a labor of love for Amanda.
I think that there's a lot of courage in sharing your art. It's a very vulnerable personal process. I really want other people to get a deeper appreciation of art and what is involved with art. Why does this mug cost so much money? Well, because this is the labor that went into it and the personal details that are included. I want people to leave the studio tour with a product and a story. I want them to talk to the artist and really connect. And I want to support the community as well. I love seeing that our businesses that are not involved in the tour have a spike in business that day. It's just a really great day of community support.
I love this community. It's everybody kind of knows each other.
Originally from Belgium, potter Iris Patterson moved to Seaforth, Nova Scotia in 2000.
I create pottery, usually functional, so I like to make stuff that comes from the earth and that you can use in everyday life, cups, plates, bowls. I love coming up here and getting my hands in the clay and creating pots for people to use. I was really interested in it in high school, and because there was no ceramic program there, they let me sort of teach myself because they did have a wheel there. So I kind of just played around with it. And then while I lived in Belgium in my early 20s, I took a couple of ceramic courses in hand building and raku firing. And then I finally made my way to Nova Scotia and discovered Atlantic Pottery Supplies, where I learned for many years. We had a really, really close-knit group there of potters. I love having something in my cupboard that's really nice to look at that I can use every single day, which is why I love to create functional pottery. It's basically a piece of art that you get to use every day. You don't have to put it up on a shelf or you don't have to hang it on a wall. You can just enjoy it every single day.
Iris's functional pottery is influenced by the wonders of nature.
I get really inspired by my surroundings and my community. I go for a walk every day on the beach and find really interesting things. Sometimes I'll take pictures of roots and trees that have interesting designs on them. I recently started making some pottery with wavy white and gray patterns on them because it reminds me of all the fog we get out here. So, just things that are around my community. I think when people choose pottery like that with an image on them, it's because it means something to them. Maybe they had a great experience here walking through the woods or walking on a beach, and it sort of reminds them of coming to Nova Scotia.
The Sea Star Pottery Studio is a lively tour stop where alongside Iris, 2 other artists are hosted.
I started when they did their first tour. It was really amazing to see so many people come out and so many new people come through my studio, especially since I'm hosting some other artists. This is the kind that I make with the local clay. It's got slip on it from clay that I dug up around here.
Yeah.
This clay is a low fire and it's put on top of a mid-fire clay, so that way this clay turns itself into a glaze. Now you have the whole story. There you go. You guys are all set.
Perfect. Thank you very
All
much.
right. Thank you.
You're very
Thanks for stopping in.
No problem at all.
Surfside Studio Tour is really well organized. It's very easy for people to follow the map and the numbers because we've got the signs out on Highway 207.
The ease of locating the artists' studios is just one reason the tour has grown through the years.
The artists here are incredible. And yeah, just love to get early Christmas presents, birthday presents, shop local, and it's wonderful.
Patrons like Rachel Tabor eagerly anticipate the event.
I particularly love the pottery, and there's just so many pottery designs out this way. Beautiful colors, a lot of sea-inspired art and colors, and I'm attracted to that. Today, I got a beautiful pottery bowl by Sea Star Pottery, which is right behind me, and it has the starfish coming over the edge. And I'm going to give my secret away. It's for my neighbor, and she has a lot of starfishes off her dock, so she'll love it.
Coming up, maybe it's something in the salt air.
What inspires me is being near the water, being in the water, being on the beach early in the mornings, and capturing that feeling and making it into jewelry.
Nestled along Highway 207 in Nova Scotia's scenic eastern shore, the Surfside Studio Tour is a journey through vibrant artists' studios. Bridget Turner, a competitive surfer, designs and crafts exquisite handmade jewelry. She is among the tour's featured artists.
So I make ocean-inspired jewelry, really brought on by my love for surfing and being on the water. I'm using the formation of the waves, the shapes, the textures I see in the water. I'm then taking that back to my studio, and I'm cutting out of metal the different shapes that I've seen, and then I'm also finding things on the beach and bringing them back to the studio, maybe casting them, maybe setting them in silver or gold. So I like to capture what I've sort of experienced on the water. Well, it all began when I was probably like 6 or 7 years old, and my great aunt would come visit us from New York, and she would bring her bags of beads. I first got hooked making jewelry with her, and then I just continued to make jewelry all through elementary school and high school, selling little braided, bracelets and stuff like that. And then I decided, much later on, that I wanted to do it professionally. I don't think I knew what I was getting into, but I went to NASCAD and got my fine arts degree in jewelry design and metalsmithing.
All of her pieces capture the essence of the sea, so her clients can bring a piece of the ocean home with them.
I like them to take sort of that memory that they have personally when they're at the ocean. I think everybody has like a unique experience, and so if I can sort of help them remember that. I get a lot of people from all over the world that are no longer living at the ocean, and so for them it's something special for them to have every day with them.
Making the jewelry is intricate and can require complete concentration. However, the Surfside Studio Tour allows Bridget to connect with people and share her passion.
I think the first year I saw 100 people come through, and then I think last year we had like close to 250 like at the stop I was at. So that's like more than doubled. And it also allows like people to come and talk with me too, because sometimes I'm busy in the studio making, and I don't always have time to sit down and chat with somebody about new work. But if they come to the show, we can talk about it. I have my work, they can ask questions, we can talk about custom pieces. Do you want me to put it on for you? You want to look in the mirror? It's so sparkly on you too.
This young patron loves to try on the sparkling treasures, yet it might be a while before she can snag a piece for herself.
There's so much hidden talent out here. Because we're opening up our homes, our studios to the public, people can actually get a little glimpse, because most of our work is in stores, galleries, and you wouldn't necessarily know where to look. So when you come out, you actually get to experience the winding, twisting road by the water, but you can see like what inspires us as well.
The surf and the sea is what drew Krista Lowe to the area a half a decade ago.
I think a lot of artists just dream of being by the sea and creating every day, and I think there's something so magical about this area that really speaks to artists and creativity. So I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I do illustration, design, block printing, and screen printing. Pink Grasshopper Studios is our screen printing and design business. It's run by myself, the head artist, and my partner Alex, the head screen printer. We do screen printing and design services for the community, and then Secret's kind of our passion project. So those are like our creative designs, our clothing brand. Secret is sort of an homage, so to speak, to people who do sports and activities in the sort of more rugged environment. We tend to focus on surfers because my partner is a surfer, and there's so much cool design through history through surf that we draw upon. Some of the inspiration that we draw from for Secret is vintage sort of surf designs, things that you'll sort of see on old surf posters, old zines, things of that nature.
The surf of the Atlantic Ocean creates a stunning backdrop for patrons as they weave from studio to studio throughout the day.
That's the same design on the organic cotton hoodies. And then we've got the local in the lineup with a little seal guy.
Oh, that's
It doesn't get more local than a seal. And it just really helps bring value to handmade goods because people are seeing the effort that's being put into it. It's a really unique experience for people in a rural setting to connect with people because we're kind of isolated out here. We don't really get to connect with the people that are buying our products very often. So it's a really amazing, intimate experience.
While Krista first moved to Nova Scotia for new experiences, she has grown so fond of the area that she would not want to be anywhere else.
I love that you can step outside and feel a sense of calmness. I love the pace of the day. I love that there's something beautiful to see every single day. Like we'll be walking the dog every morning and we'll be like, I can't believe we live here, this is insane.
Coming up on Land and Sea, Surf's Up, way up.
I was absolutely surprised at the success of this. I did not realize how popular it would be. It's more than I expected, like 100 times more.
On Nova Scotia's eastern shore, art lovers wind their way down Highway 207, where they can explore art studios, uncover charming rural businesses, and take in breathtaking views, making the Surfside Studio Tour an unforgettable experience.
This is my first time at this tour, and it's really incredible. I just moved to Seaforth less than a month ago, and it's just a really good opportunity to see what is here in this community and realize what talent exists here on this coast. I'm gonna hit all the ceramic studios. I look forward to grabbing some lunch at the Rose and Rooster and hoping to just meet my neighbors.
A memorable adventure is what organizer Amanda Cashin wants the tour to provide.
So just to take us the day and enjoy the view, enjoy the artists. We have some sponsors who offer food and to stop and have a great little lunch and have a little view by the water. We have people who have never come this far sometimes, and we have people who are just surprised that there's so much talent and so much creativity.
The tour has become more popular every year. With almost 300 people at each studio stop, the event gives the artists involved an incredible boost.
I would love to do this again because of the success. I mean, it's been non-stop since the morning, and I mean, everyone's been so kind and so wonderful. Such a great experience. It really inspires me to do more. Yeah.
This opportunity for artists to support themselves is really important, and there's not always a lot of opportunities to do that. As an artist, I think it's close to 15 years I have had my jewelry business, and there's been highs and lows, and not all shows are accessible. It takes a lot to get your work out there. It takes a lot of kind of pounding the pavement, I guess you could say. And the tour actually sort of removes those barriers. And so when the tour is here and people know, other artists know about, you know, their fellow artists in the area, they're more likely to invite them on it.
This is our third year doing the Surfside Studio Tour. Our first year was 2022, right after Hurricane Fiona, so we had the power out for the whole week before the event, so we're scrambling to get everything ready, and we're so glad we did, because we want to do it every single year as long as the studio tour continues.
The tour also revitalizes the artists.
I have seen some artists who've been in a little bit of a slump, like you get a little creative dip. And after the tour, I've just seen like such a spike in their production and their energy.
Myself, I'm trying to kind of expand a little bit in my gallery and create new work.
Work that Iris Patterson hopes to showcase in next year's tour.
My hopes for Surfside Studio Tour would be that it becomes something that people really look forward to coming to every year. It's growing and there's always new artists every year, and I think it will be really exciting in the future.
Amanda's dream is to carve out a unique oasis where creativity flows like the tides.
I hope that Surfside Studio Tour becomes a name that people recognize. I would love it if people come on the weekend of the tour from away so that they can enjoy like the province. And I hope that Surfside Studio Tour means to people quality and community when they hear the name.
With the land and sea serving as the artist's creative canvas, the Surfside Studio Tour is sure to make waves for years to come.
This area is like never ending for inspiration, so it definitely feels like home, and I think a lot of artists feel that same way, that you just don't really have to go too far to be inspired and get back in the studio and start working on something new.